Hey everyone! I'm going to do a couple of more brand reviews for non-US companies. And then I'm going to actually start going over the US companies that you guys have requested. So the first one that I'm going to go over today is a recommendation from Genia. She wanted me to go over this brand that I'm not familiar with. Let me scoot myself over here so that my face is not completely cut off. And yes, I do want this translated. So I don't know what I'm clicking on when I click that. Perfect. So it did translate. Yay! So these are the essential oils. Let me go ahead and zoom in for those of you, especially on mobile. You can see just a little bit better. So my focus with this whole series has been to review and see what sort of safety information different websites are providing for you. So that's what I'm going over. Some websites don't have any space for safety at all, and it simply here's the essential oil. Other websites have really nice safety information, and some have sort of a mix. So let's just see. So there's lots of benefits here. Okay, perfect. So I am seeing safety precautions down here. Avoid in case of heart disease, epilepsy, temperature, not to be taken internally without consultation with an aromatherapist. So for peppermint, what I like to see here too is warnings for not using under the age of 6 years old because of the peppermint. Heart disease is really not an issue. So this is kind of not accurately reflective of the safety for peppermint essential oil. So that's what I'm looking at here. And the reason why we look at the safety is because if a company is serious about essential oils and they're not simply a business, they will understand that essential oils do have safety issues and they will want the customer to be aware of that too. So sage essential oil is one, depending on which sage that it is. This is one that could be a concern. And I'm not seeing a botanical name here. So let's just see what sort of safety. So they have what I feel is a very generic, do not use during pregnancy, keep out of reach of children, before use perform a sensitivity test, which is not bad advice. And depending on the sage that this is, that could be accurate. There is a sage that is neurotoxic. The most common sage is neurotoxic. I'm not even seeing a botanical name here to be able to tell, but there's lots of different sages. Let me just see if I'm trying to read their language, which is not working very well, but let me just take a peek at all of the sages and see if that little scribble there looks at anything like any botanical names. It really doesn't. So the most common sage that is available that is sold is Salvia officinalis, and that is one that is neurotoxic and is not to be used. But there are other kinds of sages as well, some of which are safe. So we just don't know right now which one this is. So I have a little bit of a question mark over my head. So they don't really have a whole lot available. Let's see. Let me just click on the rose oil. Now, I can't really tell. These numbers do look a lot bigger than the ones for peppermint. But rose is extremely expensive, especially when it's truly the essential oil and not the absolute. Rose doesn't really have any safety issues, except it has a very low topical max when you use on the skin. So this is actually pretty close to what the topical max should be. For rose, it's about 0.6%, and this looks to be about, that's about a 1%, which is fairly close. It's not too bad. So this is steam distilled, so this is the essential oil. So yeah, that's going to be extremely expensive. It is safe for use during pregnancy. It is safe for use with children. But I think that's just their generic safety precaution that they choose to use. So I'm not really seeing any other. There's just a few essential oils. None of the others really have safety issues. Restaurant. I'm just seeing if they happen to have any blends available that I can check out to see if they are properly formulated or if they appear to be effective. So I'm not really seeing, but now it's not translated. So if they have any blends and you guys can read this, or if your translator works, let me know. So I guess that sort of comes to the end of my review. That was short and sweet. If you are interested to know where I get my information, you can check out essential oil safety files over at uboslibrary.com, and you can also assess the different companies that you are interested in purchasing from by checking out their safety information in that way. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this to YouTube, and then I will be back to do the next non-US brand. Then I'm going to dive into the US brand, so stay tuned.